finally back to work. It's Friday morning down here in Sparta, Missouri. I've had this job on the books for quite, I'd say, I don't want to say quite some time, maybe 2 months. Pretty cool little deal here. Some really good walnut, and unfortunately we're not cutting all the walnut. We're doing a very, very selective thinning. But what we're cutting out is pretty big. Dad's down here with us today. He wanted to come down here and get in on the action. Oh, got some treetops busted out in this windstorm, so we'll cut a few more trees than originally planned. But I'm actually going to go through here at the grapple and help do some cleanup for the people. They're trying to kind of turn this into a little park area for themselves, and I think it'll look really cool when they get it all cleaned up. They've done a lot of work to it already, so we're going to go ahead and do some of the finesse work. Get up here and help Dad. This old tree here, it was almost blown over when I originally looked at these in our recent windstorms the last couple days. It's went on over. Always hate to see things like that because it just, I don't know, we always like to cut our timber standing. Cutting blown down timber is never fun, especially down in this part of the world. Looks like it cut a little bad anyway. Dad's taking a few extra feet off of it, which that's never a good start to a job. We'll wait for him to get that, then we're going to pack a lot of this brush up here in the top side of this field. Extremely fortunate to have this job. I guess several people looked at it, and they called us kind of out of the blue, and I'd actually just got home from working up north one day. I kind of remember on a Saturday, and I just come on down here to Sparta and looked at it, and we kind of come to terms on it, and they weren't in a big hurry, and it's just one of those kind of deals we could squeeze in when we get time. So here we are. This is a big tree here getting ready to come down. A lot riding on this tree here. Hopefully it lands right. If it lands on that crotch up there, that could mean big trouble. Big trouble. That tree there, it's not showing any worm. That doesn't mean there might not be a little worm in it. We'll know more when we get it on the ground, but it's getting ready to come down right now. We've sprung a pretty bad leak somewhere in our grapple too. I need to look at that here in just a second. There she goes. Yep. She hit on it. Didn't bust it too bad, but busted it up top nonetheless there on that limb. Got lucky it didn't stress it all the way to the back, but still not good. The way she goes sometimes. See there, we got a leak somewhere we got to look at. Let's see if we can check that out. Hopefully it's just a loose fitting, but I doubt I can get that lucky. Got all this stuff right in here cleaned up. And actually what they're doing here is they're extending this pond dam out to make a bigger pond. They do a lot of cleaning up on their own. But we're gonna go through here when we're done cutting the timber, and I'm gonna take this brush grapple and a lot of this sprouts and briars. I'm gonna rip them up and pile them up here. This is where I've been packing all the brush up. I'm gonna pile up here alongside. Of course, this tree here you see it went to. That's the tops of several trees right there. It's getting ready to be the top of one more here pretty quick. We can get the right approach here. Shift out of the high gear. That's not what I wanted to do. Go switch hands. Some of these I'm taking the stumps and all out. There we go. We'll shove that up again tight here in a minute. I was really going to try to get the dirt work here too, but they'd already had a local company to get their dirt work, which is no big deal, but anymore I I try to get the dirt work on projects when I can. Kind of keep things on that side moving for me and Brandon. Something simple like that, just tearing out that pond dam and extending it out about 20 feet, that wouldn't be too big of a deal. Makes pretty quick work of it, the scrapple does. Aside from the leak, it just was a loose fitting there what was leaking so much. Now I do have a seal on the scrapple that, ever since I've had the scrapple, it's been bad. And we need to get that cylinder repacked on this. I hate leaks. We got pretty lucky that just being a loose fitting what the major leak was. And we've already had a neighbor come over actually and talk about cutting his timber while we're here. So they're actually been up here kind of watching the process the whole time we've been cutting. Get out of there, guy. There we go. He has a property just to the north. A lot of walnut down in here. We've cut a lot of walnut down here in years past. Always like working down here if we get the chance to. About lunchtime. Alright, winding down the day. And, we've been done cutting for a while. Dad and Kenny went home and I've stayed to kind of do some cleanup here. The client, of course the client's wife, the Mrs. Client, I guess, she had envisions for this kind of being an open park-like area, and she's taken real great care of it. And she was very selective about what she wanted to cut out of here, which there are some doozy trees left in here, but we cut some good ones. But I've kind of went through here and cleaned up all the treetops from what we've cut. I've taken the grapple and I've plucked a bunch of these smaller hackberry and just nuisance trees out of the ground to kind of make it a little more open in here. Look at that beast. There's some good trees in here. Tomorrow morning I'll come back, and I think we've got one tree left up here we want to try to get that was marked. The wind was blowing pretty hard today. It's right on the property line. The wind was actually supposed to die down today, but I couldn't tell that it did much. But when I come back tomorrow, I'm about out of fuel, or I'd probably stay a little longer today. We're going to try to pluck some more of this stuff up here. Basically, I want to make this nice and open all the way down this draw. I'd like to go ahead and do the whole top as well on both sides, but just don't have that kind of time and be sinking a lot of expense into it, which once I get going on things, I want to see it through. I just want to see how good I can make it look, but hopefully they'll be extremely happy with how this turned out. We're going to go up here and park for the day. I'll unhook the trailer here if I can get turned around. We're not in a very, very good place. Got a really good bunch of logs there. Should have, we're thinking anywhere from 4,400 to 4,600 feet on the deck. Not too bad of a day. Get the other one down. Hopefully that'll bump us closer to 5,000 when we get the other one down. I'm gonna park this guy right here, I think, then we'll try to go up here and get turned around. Now we've got some big logs in here. There's a couple, I know there's, what have I backed into? I think I backed into my forks. And I did. Yeah, there's a 1224 in there, and there's a 1024 in there, so a couple big logs for anymore. That 1224, it's a behemoth. I think it's the one I actually had earlier in the video. That top limb busted just a little bit, but really didn't do any hard damage to it, luckily. All right, guys, that's it. We'll see you tomorrow. Hey guys, if you like what you see, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for all of our latest videos.